It's Emma Jo here from Lavinia Stamps, and welcome to this video where we're going to be learning how to make a card like this. This has the woodland cottages and we've got this wonderful waterside scene. So the first thing you're going to need is some DL multifarious card, and I'm going to start with Elements Ink Sundance and a Series 9 stencil brush. And just load up some ink in there. We don't want it too strong, but we're just going to go around the middle. Just gives what I would call a touch of sunshine. Next, you could do this by ripping paper, or you could use the acetate hill masks. Now I'm going to get my Series 9 stencil brush again, but this time with blue atoll, and start building up some lovely sloping waves. Okay, and just brush your blue atoll down. And don't worry if you run out of acetate hill mask. What we'll do is we'll just take it up and rotate it, because it'll match perfectly that way. Now, I am going to take one of my smaller stencil brushes, and this time I'm going to put a little bit of mermaid on it. And we're just going to take a little touch of darker colour to that edge. Okay? Again, take your blue atoll, because we're going to want a couple of these, aren't we? And this time we're going to go a little bit lighter just above this. And we're just going to do a light touch. Brushing down from the acetate hill mask. Super. So let's stamp one of our woodland cottages, and we're going to ink it up in VersaFine Clair Nocturne. Let's see how many cottages I managed to get on this time. You're going to want this to sit just above this waterline, so you need to choose where it's going to go. And I'm going to say let's do something that might help us. Take your piece of paper and just give yourself a bit of ground. Okay, now that's just above our waves. So I've inked up my house. Stamp your first house. And basically you do the same thing all the way across. There we go. And we've stamped our houses along an imaginary line, because we're just going to add some foliage. This is from the Forest Moss set, and I'm inking it up in VersaFine Clair Nocturne, stamping it off so it's second generation stamping. And if we start off, we're going to basically fill these gaps with some hedges or bushes. And rotate this so that it looks different. So that, my friends, is our foliage. Now there is one more stamp. It's the birds stamp. I've stamped that off once, so this is second generation stamping, and we're just popping it behind our houses. This is third gen, and then another second over here. Okay, it's like the seaside. There's always gulls by the seaside, aren't there? Right, let's do colour. I'm going to use the Kuretake Clean Colour Real Brush pens. So my central house I'm going to turn yellow. So what I do with these houses is I tend to go darker at the outside edge, under the windows, and even under the roof. Squirt some water on your craft mat and grab one of your watercolour brushes and move that colour until you're happy with it. Lovely. So that, my friends, was the yellow. Now I'm going to go for a pink, and that's going to be next door. Okie dokie. Now, let's do those doors. I'm not going to use exactly the same colour for each house, so I'm not going to do red house, red door. I'm going to alternate our colours amongst that. So let's start on this side, and we're going to have a darker blue door for this house. Just a little swatch of colours under there. Grab that water and move that colour around. And add a little touch of extra colour once you've done that to the top and underneath that bar in the middle. Okay, so that's that one. Next one is red, and that's going on the greenhouse. Okay, there's two greens that I want you to try and find. We're going to start with a little bit of light green on the top of these hedges, that top left-hand side, and then we're going to add the mid green. Now, if you've got any extra spaces, like we have here and like we have here, we're going to add extra hedges behind. Now really, they are circles. Okay, so all you're doing is adding the top half of a circle behind them, or at the bottom here. So we're filling in our ground, either side of the houses, and then adding a little bit of something extra behind. Right. Now let's look at the roofs. Again, we're going to alternate those colours a bit. That blue house is going to have a very light lilac roof, so we'll just do a little line like that. Grab your water and move that around the roof. This gives us variation in tone. Then we're moving on to a pink roof, again just a line up, a line down, and a little bit of movement with some water on your watercolour detailing brush. Right, I'm going to take my Series 9 stencil brush and my Sundance again, and I'm going to pep up that sunshine in between those roofs. So just load up your brush and gently pick up the sunshine. Add some of this Sundance to the front of the houses. So I'm going to get my Kuretake Gansai Tambi Starry Colours, and this is number 903. And I've got a lovely little watercolour detailing brush. There we go. And let's spray some water into your pan. And then I'm just outlining the roofs with a splash of gold. Imagine the sunshine is hitting those roofs. Now you can see how wonderful that looks. The shimmer on that is stunning. So I'm going to go for the gem colours now, and I'm going to perk up this Seaside with the gem blue and the gem violet. Spray into our pans there. And start with some blue. And just pick the crest of your wave and follow the line. And we're going to switch it up because the next colour is going to be the gem violet. So let's just take this lovely colour for a walk. underneath the blue line above. So really what you're doing is squiggly stripes. And now you should be able to see, look at that. The lovely glimmer that you get off those colours. Brilliant. Okie dokie. So let's grab our white Posca pen and add a little bit of colour to these waves. And we're just dotting. They can be large dots, small dots, you can vary the dots, but just dot them. These just give this lovely feeling of movement. So I've got my sparkling yellow Posca pen and I'm going to add some little bits on what I'd like to think of as the sand. And let's put a dot by the door handle. So if I take this pink Kuretake pen and just colour in some of, not all of them, but some of the house's windowsills. And then take the green just that little touch of colour. Lovely. Right, my friends, with the remains of Blue Atoll that you have on your Series 9 stencil brush, give it a little brush at the bottom. We're going to add, with our white Posca pen, add some highlights on our hedges. It's just a little circle. Grab your aqua green Posca pen and find some of these white circles on the waves. Can't think of the words, so we'll go with that. Highlight them by drawing round them. And now we're going to give it a frame. And this time we're going to go in with Mermaid and gently darken those corners. And then work around the edges. And now for the finishing touch, we're going to add some words. And the words we're looking for are create by the blue sea. And I'm just going to chop the extra bits at the end of the words. So once they're all cut nicely, remember, we don't do straight. Because when I do straight, I don't know about you, if I get it wrong, it doesn't look right. So if I go with a wonky angle and mean it, it's perfect. So we're following the line of the waves. Create by the blue. And then we'll put the last one down here, C. And grab one of your blue pens that you've been using. I've gone for the pale blue, and just go underneath your word and a little bit up the right hand side of it. And there you have it, my friends, the completed card. I rather like that, nice and bright and cheerful. I hope you've enjoyed coming along and making this card with me today. If you've got any questions you'd like to leave for me, please pop them in the post below. I'll do my best to get back in touch with you as soon as I possibly can. But in the meantime, you have fun, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.